Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Ann Gordon and I am a dark fiction author that specializes in literary horror, creative nonfiction, and crime writing. My debut novel was called Beautiful, Frightening, and Silent, and it won the Kindle Award for Best Horror Novel of 2020. It is a slow burn gothic story about grief and guilt and ultimately revenge. My next two books were from the Hotel series. It was called From Daylight to Madness and When the Sleeping Dead Still Talk. And these are Victorian era psychological fiction. They do read as one story, though they can be split up, but it is a little bit better to just read them both in kind of one sitting. My other novel was Pretty Ugly. This came out in 2022. It won the Helicon Award for Best Horror of 2022. And it also won Novel of the Year for the Reader's Choice Awards for the Kindle Awards. And Pretty Ugly is a story about a failed politician and an Instagram influencer and how they meet and connect with each other during the end of the world. But what I'm really excited about is my brand new collection, The Japanese Box and Other Stories. This comes out August 1st, and this is probably my most personal work that I have ever done. This lead story, The Japanese Box itself, started in a memoir writing class and then continued in a grief writing class and then somehow turned into a quiet horror story about coming of age and growing up and being a woman and what it's like to sometimes look in the mirror and not see your reflection. The collection has a little bit of something for everybody, more traditional horror with my story Simulacrum, my take on a werewolf story with the Lithium Moon, and there's also a little bit of poetry in there as well. When I'm not writing, I am a co-host of a podcast called Vox Vomitus, where Allison Martine, my co-host, and I talk to top and trending authors, not about what went right, but about what went horribly wrong during the writing process. We tend to go live on Wednesdays. You can check that out on our Facebook page, Vox Vomitus Podcast, or on our YouTube page, also Vox Vomitus Podcast. So when I'm not writing, and when I'm not podcasting, I am actually a professional ballroom dancer. That is how I met my husband. We are both teachers in New Hampshire, where I live in an old Gothic semi-haunted house with our very silly but very adorable dog, Lord Tubby. If you like little dogs, you can find Lord Tubby on Facebook. He has his own page, and he is all over my Instagram as well. So if you want to know more about me, if you want to know more about my upcoming release, The Japanese Box, or any of the other books I mentioned, the easiest place to get that information is on my website, which is www.jenniferannGordon.com, and that's Anne with an E, like Anne of Green Gables. And that has links to buying all of my books, which are available everywhere. If you want a signed copy of The Japanese Box, which again comes out August 1st, you can get that through my local independent bookstore, Gibson's Bookstore in New Hampshire. They do ship. So yeah, I hope you check out the work, and if you like quiet, creepy ghost stories and you're interested in horror, but you might think you're not ready for it, people have told me that my books are horror for people who don't like horror. So check it out. I hope you do. Again, jenniferannGordon.com, and thank you all for your time. Bye-bye.